I feel like I linger between the words to say the words to remember. Now we're here to take control over your body and over your soul. We're gonna take back everything and lose it all. Lose it all. Lose it all. Feel it in your arms. Feel it in your legs. Feel it on your fingertips and feel it in your head. Just let your body go. Just let your body go. Just let your body go and move to the rhythm.
Another UGC game with our very own Insomnia Voltage Overwatch team. Today, they will be facing Uncle Dad in a vie for progression in this tournament. And it looks like our first map will be Blizzard World. Blizzard World, an interesting map in that you do have that high ground that the defenders can control on the first point. We'll have to see who will be defending first. I believe it will be Insomnia Voltage. And that high ground ever so important, as the defenders will need it in order to repel the attackers. And yes, it will be Uncle Dad, the team on the right-hand side, attacking first, and it'll be Insomnia Voltage to try and defend against them. And of course, Uncle Dad is going for a troll, as they will not be selecting their heroes yet. But on the left side of your screen, Insomnia Voltage looking to set up their defense. It looks like they're going to go with an Orisa Diva as their tank composition. The Orisa has a shield that can be held up indefinitely as long as it doesn't take too much damage. Predator on that Diva going to be able to absorb any incoming damage. Craney and Gindrak are going to be your supports for Insomnia Voltage. The Mercy Zen combination. Mercy's healing not as good as it used to be. And for the DPS, an interesting duo, Arakan and Aux, I believe is how you say the name. Going to be picking up the Junkrat and Hanzo, respectively. All right, we'll have to see how that works out. A lot of spam, but not a lot of hit scan damage. So if Uncle Dad do spot this setup out, they might be able to go with the Pharah, although that will be mitigated a little bit by the Diva. 30 seconds to go here, and we do have a Rakan here being a bit sneaky, trying to set up a trap. We'll have to see if they fall for it. It's right out in the open. I'm not sure that that's so hidden.
Hey!
Hello. And we've got our second caster here, Bemi, joining us. Welcome, welcome. And we're in the game right now.
Oh my god, what map are we starting off?
We are starting off with Blizzard World, and it'll be Uncle Dad coming in on the attack with an Ana Zen, Widow Hanzo, and Ryan Zarya.
Sounds like a very good, healthy, standard death ball.
Yep, we do have that death ball to Ryan now pushed up to where the defense can't see him. They'll be going around the right side. The Widowmaker vying for high ground, but spotted out by the Sonic on the wall. And have to reposition the Sonic on the defense likewise, and that'll be Predator dropping down to the point, falls low, needs to get back up, flies back up just in time, but Arakan with the kill onto Conflict. Sweet Mons retaliates with the kill onto Infamous, the main tank, but Predator finds the main tank of Uncle Dad in return. It's a 2-for-1 in favor of the defense. Zarya on the point, trapped up by Arakan and blown up. Or excuse me, yes, trapped by Arakan and blown up, but Sweet Lemons does claim the mech of Predator in the meantime. 70% now on that Transcendence for the attacking team.
And Transcendence is always a good way to open into a bunch of things, but you need to be careful not to get baited out, my friend. They are just got to be careful about that. And they're going to start slowly building up that percentage. They may be able to get the first mark, but they need to stop working on that team fight at the moment. Just sort of help out their fellow supports taking this point. You know, so Soul Kim gonna be able to get a kill, but nice boot from Conflict as well. That's pretty much gonna be the point right there, I would feel.
The Valkyrie committed, though, from Insomnia Voltage. They're going to try and hold the point, but with Semi-Mirage finding Predator in the Baby Diva form, that's not going to be easy. The second tick or the third tick almost taken. Conflict finds Craney as he swoops down to try and help the dragon. Committed from spawn finds 2, and that's going to be Alk picking up the double kill. Will they be able to hold this? The nano boost committed to the Rhine to try and even things up. The Riptire coming in, sniped out by Soul Kim, and it looks like somehow, some way, Uncle Dad will get the first point.
Uncle Dad will go ahead and get that point, especially with the fact it was interesting that the Nano Boost Reinhardt came into play, but they do have a lot of ults reserved. Their ult execution seems to be very much in full effect right now, and I think it was very impressive, their positioning as well. As you saw, Soul Kim had a very good opening to take out that Riptire, which allowed Junsu to be able to continue on forth with their shielding, and it was just very solid, but they need to be careful. They try to extend a lot on this team fight, to the point where sometimes the payload is pushing way too slowly, so they need to find that good Goldilocks of taking on the team and pushing the payload.
All right, well, now there's the engagement from Infamous and Predator, but Infamous anti-nated, blown up by Conflict. There's the Earth Shatter to retaliate on the dive. Too aggressive, I think, and that'll be the team fight 1, and Uncle Dad able to keep pushing the payload here.
Predator just trying to find some good zoning, maybe an opening as well. As they're falling back, they can just sort of use that as momentum to just fall with them, pretend that they are on the same sides, to running away from the deep bomb, when really it's just actually the team taking out the opposing team. Uncle Dad still looking very strong, not gonna be fooled by anything, truly to be surprised.
And the ultimate economy not looking so hot for Voltage. No ults whatsoever to speak of, but Arakan picking up the kill onto the Conflict is a good start. The Transcendence committed now, but they do not have the res to bring Conflict back into the fight. Just now respawning with the Barrage, but Semi-Raj with the kill onto Arakan might even things up here, and there's the Transcendence onto the point from Ginbrak to try and secure this. The Graviton in just as the Transcendence ends, and that's, you've got to imagine that's got to be cleanup right there, bro.
That is going to be very much a good cleanup right there, especially with the fact that they managed to get the tanks. Oh my god, a fire strike right off the bat as well, just swinging in the face of one of the Shimada brothers, and they're going to be able to get this point solidly. I think, honestly, they're just good at holding those ults, very passive with the ult usage altogether, and it's just such a solid death ball right now going on the side of Uncle Dad. And I think this idea of heroes switching a lot is not really helping them with their ult economy on the side of Insomnia, but they are on the death ball now and mirroring it pretty much, apart from one difference of supports, and that might be able to work out for them. The Mercy res could be crucial.
Rakan spots out that flank from Junsu and Conflict, and Conflict will pay the price for it, but Infamous gets rezzed up, but died to the anti-nade, actually. A little too aggressive. The Dragon to try and split the team apart, and it appears to have worked. Vix and Sweet Lemon's going to have to try and get out of there.
Well, like you said, Cactus, it is going to be a very good push off with the zoning and just sort of hold on to that payload. And at this elbow, it's kind of a little bit hard to hold on to it forever on the side defense, because it's actually still far away from spawn, but it's going to be pretty much just a matter if they can bait out a bunch of ultimates and not feed too much, and maybe get some of the ultimates of their own.
All right, well, Uncle Dad push around the left side, just opting to go around the elbow entirely. Conflict with the Barrage doesn't find anything, but brings the shield low. That's a nice Deadeye, and it looks like it's back and forth. The res might bring things in their favor, though. Infamous on the point, stalling things out. Pushes Junsu back. Anti again, the Mercy unable to heal him, and he goes down, and Uncle Dad are picking up the kills, but will it be enough to keep moving? They will commit the Shatter Grab to keep things moving here, and that's a convincing team fight, despite the fact that Insomnia did spot them out first. Well,
unfortunately for Uncle Dad, they did use those ults very dangerously near a potential team fight. They need to contest this right away. Arakan will be able to do that, and there's a good Earth Shower.
The Earth Shatter from Infamous blocked by Junsu, but that's like an interesting Graviton right onto the Arch. Doesn't seem to have found anyone, but it looks like Voltage are holding in the heat. The Transcendence might not phase them, as it doesn't look like they have the manpower to keep pushing. Vix sleeps the Voltage in Reinhardt, but it doesn't seem to have mattered. The payload will stop there. 1.82 meters left. Ooh, yeah. A Rakan fire.
Yeah, they are popping off right now. I totally agree. And I think, unfortunately, for the side of Uncle Dad, they just dropping the grab with the Earthshatter wasn't a good idea. I understand that the Earthshatter was a good idea just to stun, because after the grab goes down, you're kind of just dealing with a bunch of different players altogether. But I mean, honestly, that is going to mean that there's going to be a couple of dry pushes coming in from them. But they have a good ult economy right now to take this.
Yeah, Alk with that dragon hasn't seemed to be really comboing it in the infamous Dragon Ball combo. Arachid sticks Vix. That might be pushed over right there. It looks like Uncle Dad are just going to opt to back out. The Coalescence employed. Alk finds Junsu with that Sonic Arrow and Arachid in the backline, tearing things up, finding the kills, and Alk will help him out there.
Well, they did intentionally do the dry push like I thought they would, and they managed to get the Coalescence out as well, so that might be beneficial, but this will be the last hurrah for the side of Uncle Dad in order to take this last point until the next push comes up. I think this may be very well a potential take for Uncle Dad if they get a good Riptire.
Oh, that Earthshatter finds the Moira and the Zarya on the side, and that'll be Junsu claiming those kills, confirming them, and that's 3 kills up already. The Dragon Strike employed hastily to try and push people off the payload, but it doesn't seem to matter. Junsu manages to stop Infamous there, and Sol will find that kill as well, and Uncle Dad finishing the map.
Well, it was a very good push indeed, and a good hold from Insomnia, but unfortunately, when you have to go up against a bunch of ults like that, that's going to come to play 0.2 seconds. Well, I guess every 0.millisecond counts, right, Cactus?
Yes, indeed, and actually them finishing the map with 0.2 seconds left means that they are guaranteed another round if Insomnia do finish up the map here as well. If they had finished it in overtime and Insomnia had finished with over a minute, that would have meant that they had no chance to win whatsoever.
That is very true, and well, once again, I think ult economy wise was very good. Uncle Dad understanding that they just need to do a dry push, and then they had pretty much all the ults that they could ever need just to be able to get this through. And I mean, now we're going to see how well they can push. It's a scrim. I don't know if we're going to play through over to the next rounds, but if that's the case, then I think honestly, looking at this composition right now, we may be seeing the GOATs, Cactus.
I think we are. There is the infamous Moira, Brig, Lucio, but instead of having 3 tanks, we do have Arakin on the Reaper instead of a 3rd tank. We'll have to see how well that works out.
Well, you never know. They're in spawn right now. They could be memeing, but you never know. The Reaper's a very effective character nowadays, but not as effective against a good standard deathball with the Pursuit. The Shield Bash is going to come into play, and that's going to be so overwhelming for them. So we'll see how this goes. Right now, they're just swinging a big old shark. I actually didn't know you could do that.
Yeah, that's pretty interesting. And anyways, it looks like we'll have a slight mirror on the other side. Actually, I'm mistaken. Vix and Semiraj picking up the Ana and Zen as per usual. Soul on the Widowmaker to try and find someone to pick off. Might be difficult though, as Infamous just speeding in, but Soul finds the head of Arakin, and Infamous is anti again, and the Brigida as well. And that'll mean that Craney can't get the benefits of that Inspire passive and is taken down. Insomnia's first push, well, it can't be much cleaner than that if you're Uncle Dad.
Yeah, Uncle Dad just pulling off all the stops right here, and I think getting that initial pick was pretty great. I think Arakin on the Reaper was an interesting call, just from the standpoint of it has to move with essentially the GOAT's composition, so that it's kind of like playing a lot of catch up for Reaper, because Wraith form doesn't last too long, and that's going to be a lot harder. But now here it comes proper GOATs, and this is looking like it could be a good push for them.
All right, Junsu is going to have to be careful here, squaring up with the Brigida. Craney falls low, but Infamous with a double kill onto 2 of Uncle Dad supports. That leaves only Vix, but Vix with quite a bit of healing, going to try and keep his team up, and it looks like he's succeeding so far as Sol and Junsu find the kills with the aid of, well, Vix isn't going to live much longer that way. Crushed underneath the Reinhardt armor, but it looks like Uncle Dad are still getting the frags anyways. It's Alk versus Sweetelmons on the point, and it looks like Sweetelmons will be able to hold Alk off here.
Yeah, they definitely will, and I think honestly that was a pretty sweet Zarya play with the bubbles, and also being able to zone out the Reinhardt was such a huge thing for them to do. It really does help out a lot in the long run, just given with what they are trying to do. Just sort of zone out, space out, just get everything ready to roll out. And, you know, once you take out that Reinhardt, Earthshatter a couple of the players, it's just so solid. That was just one ult, and now they have a couple of ults to their name. A Transcendence and a Grab could do a lot of damage here.
All right, there's the Graviton. Finds only the Zarya, going to be picked off immediately by Semiraj. But that's the Coalescence employed to kill Sweetelmon. That's a 1-for-1. Both teams missing their Zaryas now. Junsu nanoed, swinging away, earth shattered, but will it be enough? Infamous anti-naded and will fall. Vix has just absolutely been nailing these crucial anti-nades onto Infamous, halting the pushes from Insomnia in their tracks.
Yeah, they are doing that very, very well, and it's now they're switching on over to the dive, and it's a good call after a couple of pushes with goats. It did not work out, and I respect this from Insomnia. Not a lot of people think about switching the goats composition into something else, and oh wow, that's
a nasty pick right there.
That's very unfortunate, but you know, it's dive. They have a couple of support ults that were transitioning over from the goats, so they do have stuff to work with. They could have a sound barrier that pushed him through, but they need to push him through, like, you know, roughly about now, Cactus, if they really want to get this point, and we have seen last minute clutches before.
Yes, indeed, but Cranie falling low, has to use the nade, won't have it up now. The sound barrier, honestly, their only option for engagement, although the Graviton actually from Aux might be the crucial pick here. Infamous jumping in with the bubble. This stunned up by Conflict, and there's the Graviton into the back, finds the Zen, who will use the Transcendence to keep his teammates alive. And in the meantime, you bought Soul Kim enough time to find the head of Predator, who had that sound barrier, and honestly, that might have been the only good push opportunity you had. And now you have to scramble back to the point as you hear 10 seconds remaining, 5 seconds remaining for them to get on the point. Arakan sniped out. Will he even be able to touch? No. That'll be it. A full hold on Blizzard World will secure the map for Uncle Dad.
Uncle Dad just being an Uncle Dad. I don't know what Uncle Dad is, but there you go. It's pretty much what came down to it was ult economy. It was such a huge thing. Hero switching while is very optimal in situations. I think Insomnia did a lot of that, and while it was to counteract what was going on at that moment in time, sometimes the time bank wouldn't allow them to be able to have that efficient amount of sort of comfort room to just be able to transition and build up the ult while switching to dive. Dive has tendency to be able to ult charge very, very quickly. It is going to be pretty much a very good full hold. Also in the fact that like the Widowmaker wasn't really contested. So I think honestly, if they wanted to go with that hybrid pick for the dive, which isn't a bad idea, they really needed something to counteract that Widowmaker, because you know, Soul Kim was just uncontested for the most part.
Yes, indeed, and an uncontested Widowmaker is dangerous, and well, we saw right there, double pick to, and the pick onto the Lucio, especially to deny them the sound barrier on their only good last remaining push. That was absolutely insane, and who knows what would have happened if the sound barrier had been used to its full effect. I
can barely handle it. No? Okay. Well, it's going to be another map coming in. Temple of Anubis is looking like it. And I'm hoping onto Insomnia that they have the dive again, and they have a sniper this time. I think I would like to see a sniper flanking DPS combo. That would, I think, be very effective. And I think they can maneuver very well. There's some similarities to Point A of Anubis and Blizzard World, where there's just a lot of buildings and structures and nooks and crannies to be able to pull off some amazing plays with that. So we'll see how this goes for them. I think, honestly, I'm very excited to see Insomnia come out with a crazy play here. Uncle Dad still looking very strong, though.
Yes, indeed. And in fact, I think they were trying to use the dive to try and shut down Sol Kim, but in the end, the Brigida sitting right there sort of deters any sort of dive that you might have had. But looking forward to this map, Temple of Anubis, which we're going to be going on right now, and it'll be Insomnia on the attack first. As you mentioned, there's a lot of nooks and crannies, but there's a wide open sightline on point A, and Widowmaker or any sniper really on either side might be the crucial determining factor in terms of securing the point.
Securing the point and some solid stuff there. I would think honestly in the long run, I am hoping to Betsy that we're going to see something very, very exciting from them. I think honestly Treehouse could work well if they went the Orisa route. Looking like there is going to be just pretty much dive going on right now, and Predator just teasing a little bit of that Torbjorn. But I think looking at this right now, you want to see whether they're going to try to take that high ground advantage. Widows are just very optimal here in this map, as they are in just almost every map nowadays. And then you counteract that with the Sombra. So I do like what is coming out of the side of Insomnia. That is going to be
Uncle Dad on the defense first.
Yeah, absolutely. I do like what I see. Like I said, on Insomnia with the Sombra, that's going to be a great counteract. Actually, the double flanking DPS with the Wrecking Ball dive could work out, but looks like they're still figuring that out. But there's the high ground, and Conflict will just fall back real quick just so they can hero switch. But there is no Lucio, so they don't help out. Or actually, are they sticking with the Symmetra?
I think the Symmetra mostly to get the supports onto the high ground, and Conflict now switching over to the Sombra. Interesting. So it'll be a Sombra v Sombra battle on our hands.
Who can hack the Zenyatta the quickest, or the supports in general? That's pretty much what the Sombra's for, is to just get those initial hacks on the supports, because once the supports are down, so you just got big old meat shields, and once the meat shields goes down, all you got is squishy DPSs, and that is the domino effect that you want to see here, Cactus.
Soul slept early, trying to go for that cheeky snipe onto the spawn as they were coming out, but Predator's mech is falling low, and they're going to be diving in Insomnia, but they will pay for it with the mech and find nothing. In fact, they will pay with Kranit. And despite these kills that they're getting, or rather one kill from Insomnia, the DPS just doing work on Insomnia, and they're gonna have to back up.
Fall back, retreat, synonyms for tactical, figuring out what is going on for them to do and push. Or there's a Raccoon, just gonna hang out there, wait for the initial charge in. But I think honestly this dive may not be the answer. They just don't have anything to counteract this Widow at the moment, even with flanking DPSs.
Oh, Arakan heard the other Sombra. Conflict is back with his team, and Arakan takes a bit of damage, but is gonna go for Soul anyways. Soul has that Harmony Orb on him to try and sustain him, and it looks like it'll work. And in the meantime, while Arakan's been doing this, Uncle Dad has just been finding all the kills that they need. Soul falls low, taken down by Arakan, but Junsu in the meantime has picked up a quadruple kill, and that might be enough to stop the push, and it will be.
Yeah, I mean, great Discord orbs coming in from Summer, and I think honestly just Arakan just sort of hanging out in the back as opposed to retreating with the group was maybe not the best idea. They did have the information, but there wasn't much going to go with Uncle Dad. They are just kind of paying attention to that choke, and now they're just pushing as much as they can, but they're not getting much in the way of ults. And Soul Kim, again, is just really uncontested. It's just so hard. Oh my god, what an EMP.
EMP bomb finds one as the rest of the team are able to go around the corner and avoid that damage. Actually going to find the mech of Predator, but in the meantime, the rest of the team cleaning up as Insomnia unable to use any of their abilities to retaliate, and they'll have to retreat once again.
Now boosted Winston in the waiting in the wing right there, Cactus. So that's going to be something they got to look out for. Pay attention to, be aware of their surroundings, and hopefully they will not get overwhelmed by that. And they have a pretty good ult economy. They haven't been pushing it at all, but they got a minute and 20 seconds left, and they need to have really does Genji charge up this Dragon Blade and go off with a Nano Blade altogether, or have Infamous on the Nano Boost? Really, you got to pay attention to which Nano Boost they're going for. They're either going to go try to overwhelm the Widowmaker with a Nano Boost to Winston, or a Nano Boosted. Oh, good EMP.
That's a big EMP. Gonna find Sweet Lemons demeched before the Transcendence can get to him. The EMP in the back finds Vix, finds 2. And that might be the opening that Insomnia is looking for after struggling for 3 minutes. Is this the opportunity that Insomnia is looking for to try and get onto the point? Junsu trying to find Craney. He has that sound barrier. He's going to employ it to keep his team up, but Semiraj finds the Mega Predator. Will it be enough? Rakin finds Junsu and Semiraj in the back, and after a, honestly, quite a struggle, it looks like Insomnia will claim the first point.
Survey says yes, and, you know, that was very impressive hold from Uncle Dad, because, you know, it's very infamously hard to hold on to point A, but now they're already switching on over. The McCree is going to be a great idea, Swiss Army knife, and with the flanking DPSs, that flashbang is going to be so crucial.
Indeed, the flashbang can spell a death sentence for pretty much any flanker DPS caught with their pants down, but it looks like Insomnia are going to push to the left side, and Junsu going to counter-engage, finds Ginrak almost immediately. The Blade was employed by Insomnia, and Infamous and Predator are doing the work to try and secure this point. The Primal Rage to try and stall, but the kill feed is all red. Junsu's going to need to get back onto the point. Not a tick yet, but with the kills going in favor of Insomnia and the EMP onto the point to kill the Tracer, that's going to be 2 ticks at least, but will Uncle Dad be able to get back to the point? The Transcendence not in time to reach the point, and Insomnia on their first push on the second point find themselves up 2-0 right now.
Well, you said the McCree was, you know, needed to find them with their pants down. Unfortunately for them, Genji has no pants, Cactus. It's just, he's a robot. He's not. He's
got robot legs.
He's got robot legs, so he's got to catch him with his robot legs down, which is kind of a weird sentence to say. But I think that was honestly just great execution, and honestly, the EMP was such a cherry on top. I think holding on and doing a lot of pushes and not overextending to take that team fight to defense spawn was such a good idea. Just sort of let them come to them, and that allowed them to sort of fortify on the side of attack. So in the long run, just sort of not overextending just helped them out a lot. And that's what we see from teams on attack, is that they're like, okay, we just got to push them back at spawn, push them all the way back. Not really, because if you just manage to win that team fight, you can stagger them and then basically hold it at point for as long as you need. And that's just going to be what is happening for the side of Insomnia. So great stuff. I loved how they popped off with there, especially with Alex on the Genji.
I have no idea how to say his name. I've been saying Alk this entire time and just noticed it was an X.
That's okay. I'm terrible at names. I don't blame you one bit, Cactus. You know, casting back in the days of my PS4 Overwatch, honestly, I just grown adapt to just reading the most craziest names.
All right, well, we look over to Insomnia, who are running a rather interesting comp on the defense. No shields to speak of to help the supports out, but Lucio may be able to speed the Ana out of trouble if she gets dove, and dive is exactly what we're going to see from Uncle Dad on the attack. All right, now Soul Kim on the high ground, trying to find things to snipe and click on Arakin, found out by Uncle Dad as they are fighting now in the middle. Alex finds Junsu, but Sweetelmons retaliates with the kill onto Arakin. After the Wraith form wears off, Soul Kim finds Alex in the meantime as well. And with both DPS down, you have to imagine that you favor Uncle Dad to take the point here, but that anti-nade onto Sweetelmons might be the crucial turning point. Conflict, though, with the kill onto Predator looks to deny that advantage, and now it's only the 2 supports on the point. Craney is anti-1 and down. And you have to imagine that Uncle Dad will be taking this point shortly.
They will be taking this very quickly, and also that is Athena confirming it's a team kill. I honestly thought Arakin, again, this Reaper is just not necessarily a good idea, but they also were not, I guess, reading into the fact that the death ball was going to come into play. I guess they were expecting dive, and you can really counter that Winston with the dive, but that was a hard read, and just unfortunately, it was just a read that did not come into fruition, and that is nothing on Insomnia. That was just the call that they made, and it was a wise call, but now they have a lot of time to work with, but I think they're going to not be too overwhelmed.
Ooh, the Nano Blade comes in. Sol Kim, though, finds the first kill to sleep onto the Nano Blade, but in the meantime, 2 players are down, and Sweetamons will find Ginvrak. That's a lot of blue on the left side of the kill feed, but Alex is on the point as well as the Reaper. The Reaper unable to find the Mega before losing all that HP, and the kill feed is looking rather blue, and Insomnia just need to try and get on here and stagger, but with 6 minutes left, not a lot, or excuse me, that's a lot of time left to try and stall out, trying to burn the clock down, but there's a lot of blue on the point now. Alex trying to use the Dragon Blade, trying to be the hero. Will he do it? He finds the crucial kill onto Vix. Is that going to be the turning point that they need? The Diva Bomb employed, but doesn't kill Infamous. Instead, Conflict will. More blue on the left side of the kill feed. Arakan finds Conflict, though, and with the spawns closer for Insomnia, are they going to be able to hold this? The nano boost onto Arakan, but taken down by Sol Kim, but not before losing or demeching Sweet Lemons. And have Insomnia done it? The tanks are back now for in June Sue, but Infamous is back as well. Slept up, and Craney is going in with the Brigida and finds Semi-Raj. Is that the end of their support? The Primal Rage employed and the Dragon Blade as well. This is such an extended fight.
The Earth Shatter.
Not able to find Conflict, and Conflict will chop him up 4K into the back line. Vix finds the kill onto Predator, and now it's only Arakan on the point. No HP, taken out by Sol Kim, and what a fight that was. But Uncle Dad come out on top with the completion of Anubis here in the second round.
That was a very back and forth fight, but I think honestly, always when the time bank goes up makes me laugh. Oh boy, I don't know what to say about that, but that's basically just a good alt charge and good ability usage. These sort of staggering DPSs kind of worked out. Dive kind of allows you to stagger a little bit because you already have the flanking DPSs going for you, and it was just unfortunately a matter of who got the kill first, and Infamous able to just charge up just enough to get that Primal Rage. I think that Primal Rage was kind of the definitive point right there. If they were able to stop Junsu from charging up all the way to that Primal Rage, they could have probably held that point. We may have seen it last a little bit longer, but I mean, this time bank is not too far apart from each other, so they kept it very humble, Insomnia, so good on them.
Indeed, and despite the fact that Uncle Dad claimed the point lightning quick and were able to sort of, in a very extended first fight, claim the second point, there's only a difference of a minute and 20 seconds. That's one good push and one desperation push, more or less.
Yeah, it doesn't really tell a whole lot of story of how that went down, so I think that's very impressive. And here we go, the people are about to go in Insomnia, and it's just all whether they can get a good hack onto one of the supports or Sol Kim.
A Conflict in the back, looking for the stragglers, but will now move in, coming from the back line, looking for the pinch, hacks the Moira. That's crucial. No orb, no fade. And Moira might be in a bit of trouble, but the peel is good. And Conflict forced to translocate out. Predator hanging on by a sliver. Where is he? And what could he possibly do to get some health here? The peel is good. And, well, Alex tried to dive the backline there of Uncle Dad, but it didn't end up working out. And now they will sort of pay the price. Ooh, the Nano Boost already. The Nano Winston to try and charge up the Primal Rage. But Arakan's just going to get the heck out of there, get the heck out of Dodge, and there we go. That's push number 1, deterred by Uncle Dad.
Uncle Dad just knowing what to do, and Vix just dropping the abilities as quick as they can and just sort of focusing on healing who was ever in the front lines, allowed them to charge up that Nano Boost very, very quickly. And now they are just looking pretty good alt economy-wise, and they're keeping pretty fair to mid lane, and we're going to see Infamous have a little bit of a hard time with that Discord Ward.
All right, now Infamous on the point. They big EMP, but doesn't find Semi-Rush. He's able to use the Transcendence, keep his teammates up. The Sound Barrier employed now on the side of Insomnia to try and equalize things out. The EMP from Conflict will wipe away any trace of that sound barrier. And, well, Junsu able to clean up on the point along with Soul Kim and Sweet Lemons. It looks like... Oh, wait a minute. Infamous, the only one on the point. Is he going to be able to get a tick? He's hacked up. And now it's the 2 tanks from Insomnia. How did they manage to do this? They've got a tick, and now Junsu has to come back and try and stall out the point as well. He's taken down. How have Insomnia turned this around? Conflict on the high ground has to translocate out. Insomnia comes the first point. What is this?
They just managed to go ahead and wipe out quite a good player named Soul Kim, a Widowmaker, come from downtown Detroit, just coming in and overwhelming them and just taking them out. Arakan getting a great EMP as well. We saw that the EMP was countered and it was really great. And then also he managed to get a kill onto the Diva before they could remech, and that was just so cool. So good target prioritization from Insomnia. We need to see more of that.
All right, now Insomnia moving in with a Coalescence. Semi-Rush finds Predator, though. That might be push over already. Sweet Lemons finding Infamous definitely means this push is over, but Insomnia looking to just die on the point and reset, it looks like.
Yeah, they are looking to do that. Maybe just get a little bit of ult charge as well. They might hero switch a little bit. I don't think they would. Maybe they might have Jin switch on over to the Brigitte, but I think they're going to stick with this. 60 seconds remaining. It's a dive. You can push this all the way. And they might use Alex's Diva Bomb just to sort of get a little bit of zoning and advantage there. Because, you know, if they manage to target prioritize well, I think, honestly, they just need to be aware of Conflict and their shield bash. That's my only concern.
All right, but that EMP bomb might be big, but it looks like Uncle Dad are aware of this, staying a bit spread out. Now they'll coalesce on the point a little bit. The EMP thrown, and here's the EMP.
Oh, wow.
Nobody caught, though. They were expecting it, hiding away from that Diva Bomb. And now it's a 1-for-1 trade on the point. Junsu's going to make it a 2-for-1 in favor of the defense. The Transcendence here to keep everyone on the side of Uncle Dad nice and healthy. Soul Kim able to put in the work now. Arakan finding Semi-Rage, but it looks like it's not going to matter. Ultimately, 10 seconds left on the clock. And Conflict just staying alive on the point, being a Brigida, flailing that flail. And now the rally, and will anybody be able to touch? Oh, Alex just a little too late to touch the point there. Or, excuse me, Predator.
Fair enough. Predator, the movie, coming out soon. But also Predator coming out, like you said, just a tad little late. And I think, honestly, the way they staggered out was brilliant. I think Conflict on that Brigitte was very strong of them, and they really showed some great perseverance with that mace to the face as well. Just sort of, they were aware, they were reading that so hard. That Diva Bomb Sombra combo was just so, you know, they could see that coming a mile away. They were like, okay, we haven't seen the self-destruct sequence happen yet. EMP's probably going to happen. You know, just like you said, they were so spread out, and you may as well just take my color casting job, Cactus, because you pretty much covered the important qualities and points that we have needed to take into this map, where it's basically just trying to read into the fact that they are just preparing and doing very good textbook combos, but the way they're doing it is not freeform, so they can't really mix up the time execution of it. So it's very easy to read. But now they're on defense, and we got Predator on that May just to get that treehouse composition going, and I'm feeling very good about this.
Predator, though, doesn't have time to run back. Is going to be stuck with the May, I think, in order to help his team out here. May on first point, usually not what you see. The treehouse, though, going to allow Predator to use that no damage fall-off icicle to try and get the picks. But with the Lucio on the side of Uncle Dad, they're just going to run right past. All right, here we go. Junsu looking for the dive onto the point. Yep, diving onto the point. And now Uncle Dad playing underneath where the treehouse can't see them. But that's a hack onto, I'm not sure who, the big anti onto Insomnia. May spell doom here, but Alex finds the kill onto Junsu. And with the Sweet Lemons getting de-mech'd, excuse me, the mech of Sweet Lemons being removed, that's both tanks down, and with tanks up on the side of Insomnia, you really have to favor them to hold on this first push. Ooh, that's a nice pick from Soul Kim. 2 picks. Will it be enough to get them the push next time around?
Nope, but now Arisa's on the ground, and there is no May. Their Predator's now on the Widowmaker, and this is going to be a little bit awkward. An Orisa on the ground with a Roadhog may help a little bit, but pretty much an Orisa on the ground and Anubis is pretty much a guaranteed sort of difficult team fight to have.
All right, now everyone literally on level ground now, as Infamous has just come back from spawn. The nade from Vix not gonna find any antis there. The sound barrier employed from both sides, and the Coalescence put in. That's a lot of ultimates coming out from Insomnia. They're all pressing Q. That's 3 ultimates: the Coalescence, EMP, and sound barrier to firmly secure them at this point. Ooh, the Dragon Blade. Oh, I really don't think you wanted to use that Dragon Blade there. You baited out 4 ultimates there from the side of Insomnia.
Yeah, they dropped them very much like they were hot at like 98 degrees. They are in the desert, so it's probably a very warm weather climate. You know, Alex does have the whole hog though, so they could potentially do a lot of zoning with it, and the dive is still going on, so they're probably just going to rush through choke. Alex could drop this whole hog right now.
Conflict finds Create with the 1-2-3 combo, and now we see Conflict moving the Nano Primal Rage onto the point. Conflict finding a few kills there, and now it's a back and forth over the point, but it looks like Insomnia are starting to lose the members there, and looks like Uncle Dad will secure the point with 2 minutes and 15 seconds left in the time bank.
And they will indeed, but now they need to get this marker, or otherwise it will be looking like a draw here. So 2 minutes and 30 seconds left on the clock. Can they do it? Potentially, but they need to make sure that Sulkim can go off right now. And Junsu all by themselves is an interesting call.
All right, now Conflict with the nano, or excuse me, the benefits of Ana's nade has the boosted healing. Sweet Lemons finds Grenade. Both Brigida's down on both sides, but Sweet Lemons finds Predator, and Vix finds Gindrak. It's support on support, violence. And now Insomnia trying to hold in the heat. Grenade is back, flailing that flail. Will he be able to make the difference? The EMP, though, might definitely make the difference, but Soul Kim is sitting in the back, finds the kill into Alex, but it might not be enough for this specific push for Uncle Dad to claim the point.
Ooh, that is pretty much Baby Diva left standing. It's a minute and 40 seconds left on the clock. They need something to work here in order to take this map. Otherwise, it's going to be just a 1-0 lead, which is still good. They have a rally. They got Nano Boost. They can Nano Boost the Winston into Primal Rage, and that could be pretty solid. Soul Kim is pressured a lot. So, I mean, this is good stuff from Insomnia.
As you mentioned, the 1-0 lead, but actually for Insomnia, since this is a best of 3, this is the dying straw. They're grasping at their last straw here to try and hold on. If they lose this map, it will be GG's. But Racket finding Soul Kim to try and deter this push. There's the Nano Winston, but it's slammed to the ground after. But Infamous gonna take a little nap. He's done his work. He slammed the Winston into the ground, and there's the Graviton. And Craney's just gonna swing into that and net himself a double kill.
A sweet double kill as well. 40 seconds left on the clock, and they are staggering this Ana. That's really got to be it. Soul Kim switching over to the Reaper. Now, I guess they're just gonna go for Deathball Reaper. All right, well. We're going to see how that goes with 30 seconds left on the clock. Cactus, would you be so kind as to explain what the hell is going on?
All right, so 15 seconds left on the clock, but when they started, it was 30 seconds left, so they have to get to point quick, and they need to push through with all the might that they can. But here's the EMP. You have to imagine Araken's about to use it. Big EMP, bomb into the back. Oh, that's a little too far. Almost gets the people sitting down in Mega, but Soul Kim finds Craney, and despite the EMP bomb, it looks like Uncle Dad's starting to get a foothold on the point. Jonesu blocks the shatter from Infamous, and he's gonna fall as a result. The Coalescence here to try and keep Insomnia up on the point, but the kill feed's looking mighty blue so far. Conflict finds Gindrak, and what started as a desperation push now looks like it's gonna be enough for Uncle Dad to claim the point. Predator booped up, knocked away, and that'll be Anubis going over to Uncle Dad to give them the 2-0 and the victory in this series.
Well, they certainly did it, and honestly, that was just a great EMP. And I think maybe that Diva Bomb, unfortunately, was a little overshot, so that did manage to be a great opening. And they took that. They took that opening very, very well. Also, we were seeing this great Palmer Raids with the Dragon Blades. Pretty solid. Oh my god. That's a Nano Blades are illegal. They should be illegal.
Indeed, a very powerful combo with that Nano Blade. Your only hope is really to try and sleep it to deter it. Even if you stun the Genji, usually you can't get enough damage down in the brief period that the Genji is defenseless to sort of shut down that ultimate. But GG's well played. Oh, actually, we're still going. I was told this was a best of 3. I've been lied to.
Well, I think it is a best of 3, but I think we're going to play out the last map.
Hopefully we will. More Overwatch coming your way. Are they going to play the map? Who knows? The future is a mystery.
Mystery indeed. I think, honestly, yeah, there's already people leaving, so I think this is actually where we are going to stop. So, but I mean, Ilios would have been fun to see, especially with all these environmental kills. Well, Uncle Dad's just like pretty much done, I think. But otherwise, I think what we can say from here is that alt economy was not preserved to the full extent. They were baited out a lot, so I think they just need to be a little more careful when they drop the alts.
Indeed, and the EMP bomb combo I think needs to be worked on a little bit. It's a very powerful combo if you pull it off right, but it does rely on the diva sort of putting the mech in the right place, the exploding mech in the right place. If you don't do that, they're going to be able to just